The Belko Experiment. The Belko Experiment is a 2016 American horror film directed by Greg McLean and written by James Gunn. The film stars John Gallagher Jr., Tony Goldwyn, Adria, Arjona, and Melonie Diaz. Filming began on June 1, 2015, in Bogotá, Colombia. The film premiered at the 2016 Toronto International Film Festival on September 10, 2016, and was released in the United States on March 17, 2017, by BH Tilt and Orion Pictures. The film received mixed reviews from critics, and has grossed $10 million worldwide, against its $5 million budget. Plot: Mike Milch, an employee of Belco Industries, arrives at his remote office building in rural Bogotá, Colombia, to find newly hired security guards turning away the local Colombian staff at the gate. Mike, like girlfriend Leandra, boss Barry, and everyone else at the vaguely defined non-profit company, has been there for a little over a year. New employee Danny reports for her first day on the job, and is told that a tracking device is implanted in the base of every Belco employee's skull in case they are kidnapped. This is common in Colombia due to the high level of drug trafficking, and Belco being a wealthy company. Danny is also given the keys to her company car and new apartment. She is optimistic about her first day on the job. Evan, Belco's head security guard, does not know who the new security guards are, nor why the Colombian staff have been barred from entering. Mike also sees the guards moving in and out of an airplane hangar next door. He tells Evan, and both are confused. With the local staff gone, the 80 employees left at the office go about their day as usual. A voice on the intercom then instructs them to kill 2 of their number, or else more will be killed at random. Several staff attempt to flee the building, but steel shutters suddenly rise up, sealing off the outside walls and doors, and locking them all in. They ignore the announcement at first, believing it to be a prank. But 4 employees die when explosives hidden in their trackers detonate and blow their heads apart. The employees believe the deaths are due to sniper fire at first, but Mike realizes the actual cause and attempts to remove his tracker with a penknife, warned by the voice that he too will die unless he stops within 10 seconds. Mike gives up the idea. The group is next told that unless 30 of them are dead within 2 hours, 60 will be killed. They split into 2 factions, led by Mike and Barry. Mike believes that there should be no killing, while Barry intends to follow the directions in order to prevent more deaths. Mike and his group, including Leandra and Evan, try to hang banners from the roof of the building as a call for help, but soldiers outside shoot at them. The voice warns that unless they stop, all involved will be killed, forcing them to abandon the plan. Barry and his group find a cache of firearms meant for the security staff and attempt to burn off the lock, as Evan refuses to hand over the keys. Meanwhile, Bud and Lonnie, 2 maintenance workers, attempt to melt the metal shutters with a torch, but the metal does not even heat up. Bud tries to calm the other as he begins to have a panic attack, but he kills Bud by hitting him with a wrench. Lonnie then spots Danny, who has been hiding in the building's base all the while, and they briefly fight. But Danny impales the back of his head on 2 metal shards sticking out of the wall. She returns to her hiding place. Barry orders everyone down to the lobby to try and calm them down. He and his crazed henchmen Wendell and Terry select 30 people at random, including Mike, forcing them to kneel in a line. He begins executing them with a gunshot to the back of the head. Danny hears gunshots and goes up to the floor, sees what is happening and runs back to the basement. She knocks out power to the lights before he can kill Mike. Barry and Wendell hunt down the fleeing employees, but the 2-hour time limit runs out. and the voice informs them that only 29 have been killed. 30 employees die when their trackers explode, leaving only a few survivors. The voice informs them that the one who kills the most people by the end of the day will be allowed to walk out alive. The voice lists the people who have killed the most. Barry, Wendell, and Vince begin killing indiscriminately, while Leandra confronts another employee, Marty, and his friend Chet. He collects the unexploded trackers from the heads of people who have died by other methods. The three confront Wendell. Marty and Chet are killed, but Leandra is able to kill Wendell. She, Mike, and the cafeteria lady reunite. Vince arrives and begins throwing Molotovs. Vince kills the cafeteria lady, while Mike and Leandra escape, but are also chased by a gun-wielding Barry. Barry shoots Vince and Danny, who was hiding on the elevator. He, Leandra, and Barry are the only three people still alive at this point. Mike and Leandra hide in a filing cabinet, but Leandra bleeds to death from a gunshot wound. In a rage, Mike attacks Barry and the two fight briefly. Mike kills Barry with a blow to the head. The building is then unsealed, since he is the last survivor, and the soldiers escort him to the hangar next door. He tries to fight them, but in a state of shock, he gives up. There, he meets the owner of the voice, who introduces himself as a social scientist who believes that discoveries about human nature can only come from placing people in extreme environments. As he and his colleagues begin to ask Mike about his emotional and mental state, Mike notices a panel of switches that correspond to the 80 employees. Having planted Marty's trackers on the voice and the soldiers, he charges across the room and flips every switch except his own. The trackers explode, killing the voice and the soldiers, and he leaves the warehouse in a state of shock. The view zooms out to reveal that Mike is one of hundreds of sole survivors from similar experiments, being watched by another group through security cameras. A new voice states that Stage 1 is complete and Stage 2 will now commence. Production. Gunn began writing the film after waking up from a dream of an office building being enclosed in metal walls, and hearing a voice instruct employees to kill each other. Initially, Gunn wrote the film prior to directing the 2010 film Super, although he backed away from the project once it got greenlit, owing to getting a divorce around the same time. Says Gunn, "I just wanted to be around my friends and family. I didn't want to go shoot this thing that was about people who loved and cared about each other being forced into killing each other. It just didn't seem to be the way I wanted to spend the next few months of my life. So I backed out of it." As Gunn's name became bigger and bigger, he had kind of forgotten about it, until he received a call from John Gallagher at MGM asking if he would still be interested in making it. Much of the cast was announced in May 2015, including John Gallagher Jr., Tony Goldwyn, and Melonie Diaz. More joined the cast in June, including David Del Rio, Stephen Blackheart, Josh Brenner, and Rusty Schwimmer. Filming. Principal photography on the film began on June 1, 2015, in Bogotá, Colombia, and concluded on July 12, 2015. Release. The film had its world premiere at the Toronto International Film Festival on September 10, 2016. Shortly after, BH Tilt and Orion Pictures acquired U.S. distribution rights to the film and set it for a March 17, 2017, release. It was released to UK theatres on April 15, 2017. The film was promoted through a series of 4 claymation shorts directed by Lee Hardcastle, which, according to website IO9, which they debuted on, features exaggerated versions of the Belko Experiment's characters. and offers a taste of the level of violence and humor you'll see when the actual movie. The movie was also promoted with a video game, Belko Experiment, Escape Room in VR, released for virtual reality platforms. Box office. In the United States and Canada, the Belko Experiment was released alongside Beauty and the Beast, and was projected to gross around $4 million in its opening weekend. It made $305,000 from Thursday night previews and $1.5 million on its first day. It went on to open to $4.1 million, finishing 7th at the box office. Critical response. On the review aggregator website Rotten Tomatoes, the film has an approval rating of 52% based on 77 reviews, with an average rating of 5.4. The site's critical consensus reads, "The Belko Experiment offers a few moments of lurid fun for genre enthusiasts, but lacks enough subversive smarts to consistently engage once the carnage kicks in." On Metacritic, which assigns a normalized rating, the film has a score 44 out of 100, based on 21 critics, indicating mixed or average reviews. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe below. Please like and subscribe below.